Take a look at graphic 10 in the color insert. This shows an example of a student's brain activity while he is watching his mind movie. There is an enormous amount of energy in his brain because he is fully involved in the experience. Taking it one step further, getting dimensional. There's one final way we use the mind movie technology in our work. Once our students have neurologically mapped their entire presentation, I ask them to pick a scene from the mind movie and unfold into a particular space and time, experiencing that scene three-dimensionally in their mind during their meditation. If you notice, I never use the word visualize in my teachings. Visualization usually involves just seeing something in the mind's eye, so it appears as a flat or two-dimensional image. For example, if you visualize a picture of a car, you will create a picture of a car. Instead, I want you to experience everything in the scene using all 5 senses, so it feels like a real-life, three-dimensional experience. Many people who have been introduced to my work have wondered why I spend so much time on becoming aware of the space their body occupies in space, as well as opening their focus to the space around their body and the space that the room occupies in space. Aside from the coherent changes my cues produce in the brain, it's all training for this mindful activity of pairing our mind movie with the kaleidoscope during meditation. When a student begins the dimensionalizing process, before they see anything in their mind, they are instructed to unfold as an awareness into the scene. When they start, I want the participant to become aware that they are in their scene only as a consciousness. This means that they are not their body and they lack their senses. They begin as an awareness in the emptiness of space, as if they are incapable of seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, or smelling anything. Once they become aware that they are an awareness, I ask them to choose a scene from their mind movie. This causes their brain to naturally start adding sensory input, which begins to bring dimension to the scene in their mind. Next, they are instructed to start sensing what's to their right, their left, above them and below them. The act of sensing fills in this scene with three-dimensional structures, forms, and space. As they expand their awareness to what else is in the scene, their senses begin recruiting other senses, further filling in the scene with more forms, structures, curves, textures, sensed images, feelings, and space. Finally, when the scene comes to life in their mind, in the future space and time of that scene, they start inhabiting their body. Not the body that is sitting there in the chair meditating, but the physical body of their future. They are asked to feel their arms, legs, torso, muscles, and so on, until they can feel their entire body in that scene. Then they are ready to move about in that scene and experience that reality. My theory is that when they simultaneously activate enough of the neural networks assigned to the objects, things, and people in a specific space and time, their possibility of having a full-on, holographic, IMAX-type experience increases. This is because as the student becomes present and unfolds into a fully dimensional scene, a large majority of the brain turns on, including the neural architecture that is allocated to both the sensory, feeling, and motor, moving aspects of their body, as well as the proprioception, awareness of body position, of where they are in space. The next thing they know, they are having a real-life sensory experience of their future with their eyes closed in the present moment. Take a look at graphic 11 in the color insert. It is the brain scan of a student who is experiencing a seemingly real mind movie scene in meditation. She has quite a bit of energy in her brain while she is dimensionalizing the scene. She described this moment as a full-on virtual sensory experience. Her subjective experience was quantified objectively in this scan. Many of our students have reported that the experiences in their meditation were more real than any past external experience. Their senses were enhanced without external stimuli to excite their senses, yet all they were doing was sitting in their chair with their eyes closed. Many have reported that in their lucid experience they smelled certain fragrances like colognes, the aroma of specific flowers like jasmine and gardenias, or the familiar scent of leather in their new car they were sitting in. I've also heard students report specific memories like the stubble on their face from not shaving, the wind blowing through their hair, or the feeling that their body was filled with a powerful energy. Students have also given testimony to specific sounds they could clearly hear, such as distant church bells coming from a European church near where they were vacationing, or the bark of their dog when they were in their new home. Several students have also said that the colors they saw were incredibly clear and vivid, or they experienced amplified tastes like coconut, chocolate, and cinnamon. The combination of all the different senses literally created a new experience for them. It's our 5 senses that plug us into our external reality. Typically, when we have a new experience, everything we see, hear, smell, taste, and feel is sent to the brain through those 5 sensory pathways. Once all that sensory information makes it to the brain, clusters of neurons begin to organize into networks. The moment the neurons string into place, the limbic brain makes a chemical called an emotion. Because experience enriches the brain and creates an emotion that signals new genes in the body, in the rich sensory moment of a student's internal experience, without ever using their external senses, they're changing their brain and body to look like their future has already happened. Isn't that what experience does? I love to hear a person who has just come out of one of those experiences tell me, "You don't understand. I was there. I know it is going to happen because it already has, and I already experienced it." That's because the experience has already happened. When we fully experience a reality in this field of consciousness and energy without a body, the energy of the new experience serves as the template for physical reality. The more energy you invest in your future, and the more you keep experiencing and emotionally embracing it before it happens, the more you leave an energetic imprint in that future reality. And your body should follow your mind to that unknown future, because that's where your energy is. As you continue to place your attention and energy on it, you fall more deeply in love with it, and because love bonds all things, you are bonding with that future, and it is being drawn to you. For more information about the Mind Movie or the Kaleidoscope, please visit my website at drjoedispenza.com/mindmovies or drjoedispenza.com/kaleidoscope, respectively. Kaleidoscope and Mind Movie Meditation. In our advanced workshops, we instruct our students to create a mind movie before they arrive at our event, so they can integrate their mind movies with the Kaleidoscope video during meditation. We begin by getting heart-centered, which you learned in Chapter 7, locking into those elevated emotions for several minutes and radiating that energy beyond their bodies into space. Then we guide them in the following meditation. Unfold into the present moment, and when you attain that state, open your eyes and stare into the kaleidoscope. Once in trance, switch to your mind movie. Spend maybe 8 minutes with the kaleidoscope, then 8 minutes watching your mind movie, and then repeat the cycle. When you've watched your mind movie enough that you can predict the next scene, you've mapped it neurologically. Over time, you'll associate different parts of the song you have chosen with the different images of your mind movie. Finally, spend 7 minutes watching the kaleidoscope or just listening to the music from your mind movie. As you gaze into the kaleidoscope in trance and hear your song, by association your brain automatically recalls different images from your mind movie. This causes you to further remember your future biologically, automatically, and repeatedly firing and wiring neural networks. Now your brain is being programmed to look like the new future has already happened, while the emotions are signaling new genes to biologically change your body in preparation for your new future. Watch the kaleidoscope in tandem with your mind movie every day for a month, or at least try to watch your mind movie twice daily, as soon as you wake up and right before you go to sleep. You might even want to keep a journal to record all the wonderfully unexpected adventures and serendipitous happenings that, as you look back, you will see as points on the map that led you to manifesting this future. Consider creating several mind movies, one for health and wellness, for example, and another for romance, relationships, and wealth. Chapter 9. Walking Meditation. Most spiritual traditions embrace 4 meditation postures, and at our advanced workshops we practice each of them. There's sitting, which hopefully you're in the process of mastering. There's standing and walking, which are combined in the meditations you'll learn in this chapter. And then there's lying down. While each type of meditation posture serves its own purpose, place and time, each builds upon the other to help us maintain and regulate our internal states, no matter what is happening in our external environment. But what could be the relevance of bridging the sitting meditation with the standing and walking meditation? Although practicing your meditation when you wake up is an ideal way to start your morning, if you can't maintain that energy and awareness throughout the course of your day, you're likely to fall right back into the unconscious programs that have been running your life for years. For example, let's say you just finished your sitting meditation. When you open your eyes, you probably feel more alive, awake, clear, empowered, and ready to start your day. Perhaps your heart feels open, expanded, and connected, or perhaps you just overcame an aspect of yourself, shifted your energy, and emotionally embraced a new future. But more often than not, you may fall right back into your unconscious programs, and all the work you just did to create an elevated internal state dissolves into a never-ending to-do list, making lunches and sending your kids off to school, rushing to work, getting irate at the person who cut you off on the freeway, answering calls and returning emails, hustling to appointments, and so on. In other words, you're no longer in a creative state because you've just returned to the habitual programs and survival emotions of your past. When this occurs, you disconnect from the energy of your future and essentially leave the energy you created right where you were sitting in your meditation, as opposed to carrying it with you throughout the day. You energetically return to your past. Since I, too, have been guilty of this, I started thinking about how our students could take this energy with them and embody it during the course of their day. That's why I created a meditation that includes standing and walking, so that when you become adept at raising your energy or frequency and marrying it with a clear vision, you now have a practice that enables you to maintain that elevated energy all day long, so that over time, this becomes your natural state of being. The purpose of this chapter is to help you do just that. Walking into your future. You've already learned that throughout much of your day you are behaving unconsciously, unaware of what you're doing and why. For instance, you may not remember driving to work because you were lost in an argument you had a few days prior, Or you may be focused on how you're going to respond to your significant other's angry text.